Hey, hello everybody, and I hope everybody is having a very good evening out there. It's Andre from Heroes World, and we're kind of wrapping up the wonderful new day that is New Comic Book Day, and I'm about to make that day better for you guys. I've got two really good friends of our shop, two very talented individuals who I just had to support when I found out they have got an exciting new Kickstarter coming out. I want you guys to give a warm welcome to George and Rene of Elsewhere Media. Hey boys, how you guys doing this evening?
Hey Andre, pretty good. We're
good evening.
Good evening.
All right. So Elsewhere Media. These guys I've known for years, and they've done some incredible sci-fi stuff in the past. George is an excellent illustrator that does not only fantasy but sci-fi cartooning. George, listen, I'm selling you right here, but why don't you tell the folks a little bit about your previous projects before we get into talking about your new endeavor?
Absolutely. Yeah. I've done a few projects on Kickstarter. I had the sci-fi design art book, which did very well on Kickstarter, which is a collection of pro work and personal works that I've done. I had two alternate covers as well. So yeah, that's one of the projects that we did. Another one was the sci-fi coloring book, which makes it, the unique thing about the coloring book is that it's not like your typical simple line artwork. It's actually highly detailed artwork, so you can spend a lot of time just coloring one piece because of all the detail in there.
Good challenge.
Yeah, it was a good challenge, yeah, to create a bunch of pieces, in the sci-fi genre with a lot of detail and stuff. So that one also was on a Kickstarter project that did very well. And also another one that was a very exciting project to do was 0 Point, which was issue 0 of a comic book called 0 Point. And that one I'm busily, I'm in the process of working on the next issue, actually both the next issue and the following issue. I've done work for both, actually. Yeah. So, but right now I'm really passionate about my most recent Kickstarter. It's something that I don't know how many years people have been telling me, you should put out a book of your sketches, because people see my sketchbooks and they're like, man, you got to put out a book of these. A lot of people say my sketches look a lot like finished work at times. So, and that's where I get really creative and really just experiment a lot. So you see a full range of stuff. Experiment with styles, experiment with genres, experiment with designs, concepts. So finally, I'm doing it. It's been years in in brewing for years, and the content I've been doing for years. I've got many sketchbooks that I'm taking the pieces from, and now it's finally happening. The sci-fi design. My apologies. The George Todorovsky Sketchbook Volume 1.
All right, let's take a look at this. Is right here the cover. And as you can see beside that, you can see some of the art that George has just talked a little bit about. Like he said, this stuff is finished art. Sketchbook, I think, is an understatement for this one. So folks,
thank you.
You see that ticker going across the bottom there? That is how you find this project on Kickstarter. So George, tell us a little bit about, you briefly said how many years it's been in progress, but what type of art are you focusing on, or are you pulling from for this particular project?
Obviously, I'm looking for the best of the best in my sketchbooks. Rene's been helping me help me choose all the pieces for it, and Wolf of Volume 2 as well, I'm sure. And most of it is focusing on sci-fi and fantasy, because I love both genres, and I've done a lot of pro work in both genres, and I'm always doing pieces in those genres. You'll get ones that are, you'll get some sketches that are a little less genre specific. You'll get some sketches in there that are kind of an amalgamation, or I mean, obviously you can cross those genres over sometimes, of both genres, but Basically, it's mostly sci-fi and fantasy. Yeah. So, and yeah, it's work that I've been doing for, pretty much most of my life. That's the kind of stuff I love to do, right? So,
And
and as you can see, you can see like a sort of a cross section of the sort of stuff you're going to find. So you are going to have pages with, with many different sketches on the page, but you do get a lot of full page drawings because that's the way I tend to sketch a lot. I'll have an idea in mind, and I'll just start drawing, and I don't stop until I get a finished piece, and I'm like, that looks good, And they're straight in ink, or if it's a pencil piece, I keep it in pencil. But yeah.
See, that's I was just going to ask you that question. You read my mind there, George. So on the first image we showed here, what is this? Is this pen and ink, or is this a combination of pen, pencils, ink, ballpoint pen? What is your choice medium? What are we looking at here?
I'm not sure what pens I used exactly, but I think it looks like there might be thinner pens and thicker pens. Maybe some of the sketches were ballpoint. I'm not sure. But I think mostly they're sort of like just standard type of like Pilot fine liners or things of that nature, or microns, or I'm not sure exactly which ones I use in these, because again, these sketches, some of these were done a few years ago, I believe, right?
Right. But I guess I'm more so asking about what tools do you use, and your tools of the trade, basically. That's what I'm trying to get at.
Gotcha. Yeah.
The stuff is so detailed. Like, let's put this one up. Look at this here. Wow, like this is fantastic. And again, we got to talk about it. Again, this looks finished. So I'm a big comic fan and stuff like that. Something like this, would you have done this in pencil first, or would you have done straight to inks and then even more inks with let's say brushwork? What are we kind of looking at here?
I do mix up my mediums in terms of what I ink with. These were both done straight in ink, so I just went to town on them until they were done. But I'm pretty sure I at least used, I think it might have been a brush pen, but sometimes I'll fill in blacks with actual brush and ink. Not all the time, but lately I've actually been sketching with brush again. And it's fun. I love using brush. It's been a while.
So when you say sketching with brushes, that's what you're doing. You're not blocking anything in with a pencil or anything.
Nope,
you're straight with that. Wow,
that's
fantastic. That's fantastic.
Thank you.
And with the Kickstarter, you've got several types of rewards or tiers and stuff. So let's talk a little about what we've got here. Let me show you this here, and you can tell the folks what they can look forward to.
Yes, our prints, wonderful prints. Yeah, we have we have a choice of 6 prints. You could either get one with a reward tier, so you get a book and a print, or you can get all 6. So there's a reward tier where you can get all 6 prints, and they'll all be signed, artist signed by me. So you get signed prints, you get the book signed. Anything, just about anything you get on the Kickstarter will be signed. So that's a good thing. And what's great also is Kickstarter's got this, I don't know how long you've had it, maybe for a couple of years or so. I've only found out about it recently, or we just found out recently, add-ons. And what's great is if you get a tier, like a reward tier, where you get, let's say, 2 books and I don't know, and that's it, right? You get 2 books, right? But you thought to yourself, okay, I like this rewards tier, but I'd like to add a print to it. You can. We got a thing called add-ons now, and we have, you can click on the add-on and it'll add it to your bundle and your package, in a sense. So that's pretty cool because you can't have, if you mix and match, you'd have way too many reward tiers if you try to mix and match.
So is your previous sci-fi design book going to be one of those add-ons to this?
Yes, it will be, actually.
Right on.
The sci-fi design book, and you get your choice of cover 1 or cover 2. This is the first time since the actual launch of the original Kickstarter where I'm offering both covers. The last 2 Kickstarters, I only offered 1 cover. So now you get your choice of covers 1 or 2. That's one of the choices. So you get you get the sketchbook plus sci-fi design, and you can also get the sci-fi coloring book as well. So that's also one of the rewards.
So basically all of your funded projects you'll be able to get. So I'm going to
go except for 0 Point. 0 Point.
Except for 0 Point. Yeah. Okay. So let's show some of these pictures again, folks, and I'll talk a little bit about it here. So we've got George's first sketchbook coming out, and it's a compilation of his sci-fi work, his fantasy work. You can see many different influences, many different genres. Some you can even see some I would say some cyberpunk in there. And
Sure.
you are also going to be able to, when you pledge and back this Kickstarter project, you're going to be able to choose to get one of these amazing prints. You can choose, depending on your tier, to get all of them or choose one. George is going to sign all of them. And again, I want you guys to look at this art. Like, George starts with those inks and then look at these beautiful colors. It's almost like a painted image here. So it's very, very cool. But not only can you get a print, George has just informed us that you can do an add-on for any of his other successful Kickstarters. And we've got an image of the sci-fi design, which is, again, another book of George's fantastic artwork here. Rene is his editor. He puts together all the images into this nice book format. So we're really looking forward to not only volume 1, but with the success, hopefully volume 2. I know you've got a ton of material. So George, let's use a couple minutes here because we're going to wrap things up. But let's tell the folks out there a little bit about yourself and your artistic influence. Like, where did you get the awesome ideas, and as a young artist growing up, because I know you've been doing this for years, who are the people that you kind of draw inspiration from, and the comic book artists or the fine artists here? Tell some of the folks about that, and maybe they'll look them up too.
Sure. Oh, by the way, I just want to add that original artwork is also available in the Kickstarter. I think that's very important, including original head sketches. So you get to choose anything you want, and I'll draw it for you. And that's even an add-on. So, so you can either have cool. Yeah. So that's pretty cool. In terms of influences, I've had way too many influences growing up. Like, starting from, I don't know, like the classics like George Perez, John Byrne. I was also into Bill Willingham. But, as I got older, I got into Mobius. Mobius, I think, is just phenomenal. Other Simonson, I don't know. There's so many artists. Like, I could write such a big list. And even outside of comics, I did go to an art. My high school had a really good art program, and their library had a lot of art books. So I did look at Leonardo da Vinci, Rembrandt, trying to remember the name of the other guy, but anyway, a lot of Michelangelo, of course, anatomy, books of anatomy they had in there. So that was even from an early stage. That's one thing I really focused a lot on, is and playing with anatomy, of course, but over the years, but really trying to get that down as well. So a lot of good influences with that stuff. So and even I'd say a lot of my influences come from film and television as well. Like,
right on. So talk a little bit about that. Like what's some of your favorite films? Like what's taking space in George's mind?
Again, a lot of those too. Actually, some of my art style in terms of drawing styles. I think there was even a short period of time where I was influenced by Ralph Bakshi's animated work. Like, I love that look. I know a lot of it was rotoscope, but there is a style to it too, and I remember that did influence some of my work. But stuff like Star Wars, of course, Star Trek, Blade Runner. I don't know. 2001. That was a little later. Space Odyssey, but I think it's one of my favorite movies of all time. But it was still a long time ago, though. Like, it wasn't necessarily during my formative years, but actually, I remember trying to watch it so many times when I was young. And I knew it was good. Like, I kept going, this is such an interesting film. But I would always watch it late at night, and I'd fall asleep. But the one time where I was able to watch it, I was like, oh my God, this film is amazing. And from that point on, I've watched it countless number of times, and I have, like, my God, it's such an amazing film. It's one of those things you got in the right headspace because it's so meticulous. So you have to get into that sort of headspace where you're paying attention to every detail, and it's brilliant. It's a brilliant movie. It's so good.
Really is. And speaking of brilliance, George, I really got to say, I'm a big fan of your work. Your art's brilliant. I hope you all the success for this new Kickstarter. So folks, the ticker's on the bottom there. That's the sketchbook cover. It's on Kickstarter right now. There's 2 more weeks to back this project. So don't hesitate, support a local artist. George and Rene have been in the business for a long time doing cool, creative stuff, and all of their other projects are available too. So please check it out and make sure that you support local. Drop by our store too, because we do have copies of all of George's publications ready and waiting for you. Guys, thank you so much for spending this little bit of afternoon, evening time with me. And I hope your
Thank you for having
Kickstarter
us.
is a success.
Nice. Thank you so much.